All right. Today we're going to talk about sociograms. Now, a sociogram is merely a way for you to show me that you understand what you read and you can analyze the ideas in what you read. In fact, a sociogram is just kind of a cool way to do analysis. Here are our goals for using a sociogram. Now, sociograms let me or let your teacher know that you can do the following. They let us know that you can understand, of course, that you understand what you read, but also that you can make inferences and draw conclusions about the structure and elements of the work of fiction that you are reading. So if you're reading a novel or a play, you're going to show me or your teacher that you understand and can make inferences about that novel or play by using a sociogram. But the sociograms we're going to do are also going to give us an opportunity to provide evidence from the text to support what we say we understand from the text. So you'll be using some quotes to support your ideas, just like we've done all year. So what is a sociogram? What is this thing? Well, let's have a look at a couple of examples. Okay, so if you've ever read the book or seen the movie Great Gatsby, you're going to know about some of these characters. For instance, you're going to know about Gatsby. You'll probably remember Daisy, or you'll probably remember Tom. And what this sociogram has done has kind of shown us a little bit more about the characters. It's done a little bit of analysis with the characters, just using pictures, symbols, and lines. So watch how this works. So the central character that we are analyzing is Jay Gatsby. He's in the middle here. And Gatsby is represented by, if you look behind his name, this lavish, beautiful automobile, which kind of speaks to his personality. He liked to show off his wealth. He was very showy and very lavish himself. So we use symbols in sociograms to represent the ideas or the people that we're analyzing. So in this case, the car for Gatsby. You might also remember from the book or the movie that Gatsby meets this guy named Tom. Tom, of course, is Daisy's husband, so there's the line connecting them. But what's interesting is that Tom, if you remember, he's a very manly man. He's a very blunt, straightforward, polo-playing, hard-handed man. And so what's interesting is that this student has chosen to use a fist to indicate Tom, to represent Tom. So what that says to me as the student's teacher is that this student understands Tom's personality. This student was able to draw some conclusions about Tom. So you'll see that there are some connections between these two. Gatsby and Tom have sort of this jagged line here. I think that indicates their relationship. It's not a very smooth one. But look at the relationship between Tom and, say, Myrtle down here. Myrtle and Tom had sort of a little love affair. In fact, the word affair is here. But it's symbolized by this red line with the heart on it. And so just by drawing a line with hearts, this student has kind of outlined the relationship between Tom and Myrtle for us. And that's the goal. By looking at this entire sociogram, I can tell that this student not only understood what they read, but could draw some conclusions and make some inferences about the book Great Gatsby. How about another example? Check out this one. You may have heard of or even read the play Hamlet. Here's a sociogram that I think is very good at telling us what the relationships in Hamlet are like. So as you can tell, this sociogram only deals with acts 1 and 2 of Hamlet. But in those acts, we get some good information about the characters. For instance, look in the middle of this sociogram. Right here. We're going to study Hamlet. He's our central character. He's the central thing that we're going to analyze. And he's represented by this giant tear. What does that tell you about Hamlet in Acts 1 and 2? Right on. Hamlet is very sad. You probably know why, but I don't. Well, okay, spoiler alert, Hamlet's dad has been killed. So he is very sad at the beginning of this play. If you bounce over here, you'll notice that we have King Claudius. And he, of course, is represented by this crown to indicate that he is the king. Hamlet's dad used to be the king. So you can tell that they may not have the best relationship. What's interesting is that this student indicated that relationship with a lightning bolt. That lightning bolt kind of looks fierce. It kind of looks jagged. It does not indicate that their relationship is smooth or happy. And just by using that symbol, this student has done some analysis about the relationship between Hamlet and King Claudius. Look over here on the left side. Here's Queen Gertrude. That's Hamlet's mom. And what do you think their relationship is like? Well, if you look right here, same lightning bolt, same jagged, kind of fierce-looking connection between them. And that's an indication that they do not have a good relationship. And look, I like how Queen Gertrude, look, she's in a cloud. The cloud represents her. People who have their head in the clouds, people who are kind of light and flighty, don't have much substance to them, that's who Queen Gertrude is like for this student. Now, what your teacher will probably ask you to do is to not only make these sorts of connections and use these sorts of symbols, but to also use some of the L2s that you have been writing down as you read to characterize some of these relationships or some of the characters. For instance, if we have Hamlet in a tear, that's good and all. I know that he's sad, but I need for you to prove to me that Hamlet is sad. So something that your teacher will probably ask you to do is to insert a little bit of textual evidence into your sociogram to show me that you understand what lines indicate that Hamlet is sad. So for instance, pretend I asked this student to put in a quote right here that shows me that Hamlet is sad. And so maybe it would be a quote from Act 1, Scene 2, where Hamlet says something like, "How weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable." Watch this. Next line. Where'd it go? Seem to me all the uses of this world. Everything seems so useless, so sad. And so that quote right there shows Hamlet being sad. The tear there. That quote, of course, I'm going to cite it, is from Act 1, Scene 2, lines 137 and 138. Now, what if we came up with an L2 for Hamlet here? We know that he's sad. Sad. Come on, guys. We can do better than that. We can have a better L2 than that. So what if we threw an L2 in here to show us, to show our understanding of Hamlet? And so what if we say that, well, he seems, I know it's pretty obvious, but he seems pretty depressed at this point in the play by the death of his father. Now that's cool. You can use quotes and L2s to prove your picture, but I might also want to use a quote and an L2 to characterize these relationships. So pretend then that I insert another text box here. Pretend I put one right here between Hamlet and Gertrude. Remember, they have this like very jagged kind of relationship. Well, one quote that kind of indicates that is this great quote from Hamlet talking about his mother. Frailty, and really he's talking about most women. Frailty, thy name is woman. And he was saying this specifically about his mother being frail and weak. And so what's an L2 that I could use to describe their relationship? Probably something like strained. They don't have the best relationship. Their relationship is strained. So this is how sociograms work. You're able to artistically show me what you know about the characters, but you're also able to back up your ideas about these characters with quotes and L2s that you have been using as your analysis for the text. So that's how sociograms work. Thanks, guys.